John Galino. I couldn't ask for a better introduction than that. I'd like to just really profoundly extend my thanks to John Galino, my leader, the Democratic leader of Staten Island. His leadership is evident, and I really, really appreciate everything you've done for me to date. But I also, I just want to thank everybody for coming out here tonight. I'm thrilled to see so many of my friends. We've got people here this evening from all corners of our district. We've got people from Queens. We've got people from everywhere also. But, from Tottenville to Stapleton and from Bay Ridge to Travis, I thank you all for being here. Got to thank my mom, my dad. I got to thank Jessica Schoenholtz. I have to thank John Galino and the other district leaders. I see many of them here. I think there are too many here to mention by name. I see some of my friends at the Empowerment Zone. I see my friends at the South Beach Civic Association, our great civic leaders here. So thank you all for coming. But I want to talk to you about the future of Staten Island and Brooklyn and about my next steps. And I am Mark Murphy, and I am running for Congress. Look, Staten Island's my home. My family's lived in this district for generations. It's where my family and my daughters will continue to grow up. I want them to enjoy the same experiences, the opportunities that I had growing up. I mean, the parades in West Brighton and Travis, the movies in Snug Harbor, the soccer games in Miller Field, and I say in the pizzerias too, because I would pick my favorite. Next door. I'm not going to say they're not great. They're phenomenal, but Vinnie Tartamella up in my neighborhood would have some words with me in the morning if I pick someone else. But also the fireworks at Wolf Pond and the fireworks when I'm over there on Shore Road looking at them from Bay Ridge. These are the staples that make Staten Island and Brooklyn a wonderful, beautiful place to live. We work hard, we provide for our families, and we build up our already vibrant communities. Yet over the past few years, our values and way of life have come under attack. Now I'm here today to announce my candidacy for the United States Congress, and I would be honored to represent this district. I believe in finding ways to say yes, not just saying no, in moving our country forward to build a better and brighter future for the middle class of Staten Island and of Brooklyn. I support, and I want to talk about what I support. I support protecting and strengthening Social Security and Medicare. I support extending tax cuts for middle-class families in these tough times. I support creating jobs and rebuilding our local infrastructure to meet the transportation needs of the 21st century. I support the brave men and women who wear our country's uniform. I believe that we have an obligation to make sure that they have jobs and access to the best medical treatment in the world when they come home from protecting us overseas. I support a sane and responsible fiscal policy, one that does not bring our nation to the brink of default and jeopardize our financial and national security because of extremist partisan posturing. I support tax cuts for local small businesses, not just the big multinational corporations that are not even based here. Tax cuts for our law offices, for our accountants, for our doctors and their offices, for the pizzerias and the delis and the barbershops. These are the small businesses, and these are the engines that fuel our economy and create local jobs. They should enjoy these tax cuts. And I support my brothers and sisters in labor. I stood with them in picket lines, and I will continue to support them every day. This is not about the rich or poor. This is not about envy, as the Republicans like to say. This is not about class warfare. This is about doing what's right and building a better future for our children and grandchildren. It's about protecting the character, reputation, and the security of our country. Across the country, we see that middle class and working families are under attack. And we must remember that it's the middle class that built this nation. Our current congressman has voted against extending the critical payroll tax cut on middle class families. He supports a plan that would destroy Medicare and Social Security as we know it, which would not just devastate middle class seniors, but leave seniors everywhere vulnerable. In Congress, I will fight for middle class families in Staten Island and Brooklyn every single day. This Congress has voted in ways that have hurt the people of this district and undermined the values of the community we live in. Just look at our current congressman's record. He said no to extending payroll tax cuts for middle-class workers. He said no when there was a vote to protect Medicare. He said no to extending unemployment benefits to those who lost their jobs in this recession. His is the Congress of no. There's the reason why 88% of people in this country think Congress is doing a bad job. And what's more, the current congressman opposed serious efforts to create jobs. My opponent might like to fire people, but let me tell you something, and let me say this now. I like hiring people, and I want to put America back to work now. Now, I've been a successful businessman. I know how to create jobs, and I know how to balance budgets. And at the City of New York's Public Advocate's Office, where I worked, I knew what it was to help the community and help those voices that needed it most. And if you elect me to Congress, I'll continue fighting for our school teachers and our firefighters, for our children with special disabilities, for working people and the business owners, for labor, and for our seniors who've earned their benefits and deserve to retire with dignity and peace of mind. These are the uncertain economics times Americans are struggling. Together, we're going to forge a new path forward, a vision for our country that makes the American dream come alive again. Now, I'm a parent, and I know what it's like to have others counting on me. And I will focus on building the foundation for the next generation and defending the generation that got us here. That is what this campaign is all about. Again, this is about finding ways to say yes, uniting us in building a better future. And I can't do this alone, but I can do this with the support of you, the great people of Staten Island and Brooklyn. And I'm confident we can be victorious if we do this. And I thank you all. I'm Mark Murphy. I'm running for Congress. God bless Staten Island and Brooklyn.